So welcome to the OB Networking Group Zoom meeting. Today is Tuesday, August the 18th, and I'm very excited to have Garrison Fletcher will be speaking today. But before we turn over the floor to Garrison, we're going to do our standard meeting presentation, which includes an icebreaker question. And the idea with the icebreaker is that we want to know what's motivating you to network. And it looks like Carrie the Shaker Man is about to log in, so that's good. We'll have another person here, and we want to know what's motivating you to network. Are you here to promote your business, a cause? Are you here to improve your social life? Some of the above, all of the above, none of the above, or just curious in general. So we always ask an icebreaker, and today's icebreaker question, and hopefully Carrie, let's see if his video is coming up yet. Carrie, I hope you can hear me because I'm going to repeat the icebreaker question. And
I can hear you.
Okay, excellent. Welcome, Carrie. And today's icebreaker question is, in the age of COVID-19, what else are you doing to network with others, aside, of course, from coming to a Zoom call for the OB networking group? So I'll give you, Carrie, a minute to think about it because we just started and some of the others that joined a few minutes ago have had a little bit more time to think about that icebreaker question. So do I have any volunteers to go first? Please, Julie. Did you raise your hand?
Yes, I did. I just
So
want to get it over with, right? Because my business, I work intimately with clients one-on-one, my business shut down for almost 2.5 months. And so attending networking groups via Zoom was just, it was amazing. And I was able, because I wasn't with the clients, to be able to attend way more networking groups than I had in the past pre-COVID. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I look at it as a positive. I miss my clients, but I view the pandemic and what it did to expand my networking group in a positive light. So that's what my focus has been on, to join new groups like today. Thanks for having me.
excellent. We're so glad you're here. And feel free in the chat system of Zoom to drop in your website, phone number, other contact information such as that. And I can see that CJ is logged in. So welcome, CJ. I'm excited to have you on the call. And to let you know, the icebreaker question today is, in the age of COVID-19, what else are you doing to network aside from attending a Zoom call for the OB networking group? And I think I know your answer, but so let's see. I'm going to call on Roger to go next. Roger, would you be willing to go next?
Sure. I'm still trying to figure this out, actually. When this whole thing started, I was kind of technology averse when it comes to meetings. The work that I do is I'm an intuition guide and shaman, and so this is very intimate work. And I did not like the idea of doing it over the telephone or online at all. So I've learned to adapt to that. I do like to provide people an opportunity to experience my work in a small group where it's safe and where they can experience me one-on-one without a big obligation of time or money. And of course, that got very much more difficult. I had just launched a couple of meetup groups. 2 of them went nowhere. And the third meetup group was for tree huggers. And we weren't able to meet in the park, which I had envisioned, but we did a couple of Zoom calls where we were actually able to connect with tree spirits remotely and online, which I thought was very cool. It even worked on Zoom. And and the results were beautiful. And but it just did not meet our need for connection. So what I'm doing now, I can have my group at the park as long as I'm keep it small and do social distancing and keep it safe. So I'm relaunching my tree huggers group, doing it by invitation only in the beginning, and so I'm kind of excited about that. And the other thing is, there's a couple things I really don't want to do anymore. Like I don't want to do Facebook anymore. I'm kind of done with trying to make a network out of that, maybe even LinkedIn. But I'm really happy to hear what you said, Julie, what you said, Garrison, about, and you too, Chuck, about the way this is working for you now. It seems like I need to come back and take a closer look, a better look at doing it again. So thank you for that.
Awesome, great answers. And Thalia, I haven't seen you in a while. I apologize about last week not having the meeting, but thank you for trying to hold the group together for me while I was out on vacation. And how are you today?
I'm doing great, thank you. Nice to see you, and glad to have this back. And to answer the question about other types of networking, one interesting thing is I've gotten back into dancing, which I do a lot of different forms of dance and yoga. And so through those classes, I've actually expanded my network. When some of the teachers I know found out that I do web design, they were interested in learning more, or, just basically wanting to find out, what I do and if it could be a fit. So that's been interesting. And I'm really a believer of word of mouth. Chuck and I have been able to connect and have a great synchronicity with when there's a project maybe he thinks I'd be interested in, or vice versa. It's just so nice to have that personal contact. And Chuck, like you said, sometimes it's not like how many contacts or how many contacts you have, but the quality of the people, and that they know you and know what you can do. And so anyway, but the dance part has been a little unexpected. I've actually gotten some clients from a different part of my world that I'm equally as passionate about as I am about design. So that's cool. And for those of you I haven't met, I'm with Little Sparrow Design. I do website design, I do branding, I do print work, I do kind of anything creative. I do lately a lot more consulting. And the other interesting thing about the whole, trying to find the silver lining in the pandemic, I've been doing some Zoom consulting, which is, I don't imagine I would have been doing that if not for more people using it now. And yeah, I love this group because it's smaller, and I feel like, it's so nice to see people, multiple times, so that we really do get to know each other, and that's it. So I'll put my info into the chat, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions about what I do, or if we could work together. Oh, and one last thing, I have a brand new kitten. So if I'm a little distracted, it's maybe like pulling a rubber band out of her mouth, or something like that. So I'll introduce her in the call later.
Awesome. And I was going to call him Carrie the Shaker Man, but it looked like he just jumped into the ocean. So CJ, nice to see you, and thanks for jumping on the call.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
So please introduce yourself and answer the icebreaker question.
Hello. To those that don't know me, I know Roger, and I know Julie and Garrison and Chuck. Thalia, this may be our first time meeting, and Carrie, this may be our first time meeting. So to you, I'll say hello. My name's CJ. I'm a website designer as well. There's a few of us here in the room. I've been a web developer since 1995. I've been a computer geek all my life. I got I did a bunch of other stuff playing around in the business world and customer service and sales, and got into insurance for a number of years, had an accident, and through that whole experience ended up opening my own business in 2006. So I've been a full-time web developer ever since then, and have kind of transitioned into becoming an author and a speaker as I sought to help people, mainly business owners, understand what a website could really do for their business. And just writing down some of those thoughts led me to write the book, 5 Golden Keys to Sharpen Your Website. And that has become the core of my message. And I talk to entrepreneurs and business owners about how to think of their website like a tool so they could better do their business. And I don't use jargon or technical terms. We talk about sales, we talk about customer service, and everything is in human language. I say that I speak web geek and I speak normal human, and I can translate. I use this jungle theme I throw on my hat when it makes sense and call myself the website safari guide. It's a whole shtick I do with my jungle animals that surround me in my web cave, as I call it. And the whole intention is just to help people get through that anxiety that they feel. They all talk to me about the anxiety and the fear and the worry and the emotion. And I use humor and a good time to break through that and still get the business done. So to answer the question about networking, I've had the amazing experience, I'm so grateful, of being able to host an ongoing networking experience virtually since mid-March when this all happened on behalf of Exceptional Entrepreneurs, which is where I ran into Chuck again, and where I've known Roger from previously. So anyhow, it's been a whirlwind, but I've been so grateful to be a part of it and kind of help use some of my web geek skills to help people through this time. So that's me, CJ Gilbert, Gilbert Studios. Ask a Web Geek is my podcast. I'll share a link with you in the chat. Thanks so much. The internet's a jungle.
Excellent. Well,
let me be your guide.
These folks don't need me to be their guide. This room is full of guides.
the thing, every time we have a meeting, there's new people that show up, and sometimes we have more than today. So I'll talk to you later about maybe speaking at a future meeting. I would love to learn more about your expertise. And so, Carrie, it looked like, you have that virtual background, and it looked like you actually went swimming there and came back. You dried off pretty quick. Whoops, you might be on mute. Let's hit that old unmute button.
Unmute. There we are. Hi. Yeah. Now I'm caregiving for my 91-year-old mom, who was sitting out back in the heat, and she was informing me that the pool was about to overflow, which it was not, but because it's so hot, we had to add some more water into it. So it was a minor emergency related to water, but everything's fine and dandy. So yeah, it's supposed to be 99 degrees here in Orange County today. Kind of exciting. Anyway, all right, so I'm Kerry the Shaker Man. The nickname is because I invented a percussion shaker and got into percussion and drumming. Now I teach hand drumming. I do drum circles when I'm blessed to be able to get with groups. I use social media to network both my Purium business. Let's see, there you go, Purium. They have superfoods that are awesome. Been with them for 5 years. And also to teach hand drumming. And about a week ago, we were able to get together for a 25-year anniversary with our teacher, Arthur Hall, and about 80 people from around the world on a 2-hour Zoom call, which was awesome. Hadn't seen some of these people for 15, 20 years. Just amazing beings all around, literally, all around the world who do community drumming. And it was just like a big family reunion. So I do appreciate Zoom. It's definitely a good tool. I look forward to checking into Telegram, which I hear is competing with Zoom, that they have even better security or something. And Google Duo, I guess. I've heard about that, haven't tried that. And then every week I do use use the networking to speak with my sister and her boyfriend. My mom joins in and we have a little family gathering, and that's a real plus. So I can see the advantage to having this. Just got to get comfortable in front of a camera. And yeah, I like the background. It sure is better than my closet.
Awesome. Well, good job. And, Carrie, going to the beach and swimming pools. It sounds like good activity for a hot day. And I see Dan Dennison has joined us. And Dan, I'll give you a heads up on the icebreaker question, and then I'll introduce myself and answer the icebreaker. That'll give you a minute to think about it. And today's icebreaker question is, in the age of COVID-19, what else are you doing to network besides attending a Zoom call for the OB networking group? So my name again is Chuck. I think you guys all know me, and I am the organizer of the group. And I would say that Exceptional Entrepreneurs, which is the call that CJ runs, I've logged in 5, maybe 6 times, and I find that to be another really good way to network. It's a much larger group. I love the way CJ runs the meeting. He's got a great personality. There's a lot of good energy on that call, and I've learned a lot by watching you, so thank you. The other thing that, as a byproduct of trying to promote the networking group, it actually helps my business, because when I create events on Facebook, and I'm posting on different Facebook groups, it kind of gets my name out there. And so I try to reinforce Chuck Hardwick, Dancing Panda Marketing. You can find my website at dancingpandamarketing.com. I use Dancing Panda Marketing as a way to post on Facebook. So it's almost like my excuse to go crazy with the branding, because I'm posting about a free networking opportunity. So it's sort of a backhanded way to get my name out there. And I probably should jump on more calls with Exceptional Entrepreneurs and some of the other groups, but it comes down to priorities and time. But I'm also a web developer. I love doing search engine optimization. My ideal client is someone that works in a local area, like an acupuncturist, massage therapist, an attorney, local businesses, and that's my sweet spot, getting them found in Google Maps. So let's see. So we'll let Dan go, and then I think, so Dan, you're on deck, or you're up to bat. Take it away.
Yeah. Hi, greetings, everyone. I think that during this COVID time that it really is important to think about how you connect with people, but it's important to find enjoyable activities that kind of take your mind off of some of the trauma that so many people are feeling. My big thing I really enjoy is going to the dog park almost every day, Dusty Roads. So I do see people there, and we get a chance to chat, talk about stuff. Also, I created a Facebook page for the dog park. It's hard to believe it's over 2 years ago. We got about 240 people on it. And so I put pictures in there of dogs that are there at the park. And then if I see something that's humorous, like maybe there was one that was a picture of a bulldog sitting on a couch and talking about how that he was really tired of being the support dog for his owner during the COVID time. So, and the name of the website is Make Dusty Roads Park Great Again. So that kind of gives you an idea of when we did that. Also, being a realtor, I am taking some people to see houses. So that's a chance to interact with different people. Additionally, we have sales meetings online with the realty company. And also there's a lot of technical information that is on Zoom calls for a chance to learn stuff and interact. So that's good. And I learned from a young lady at the dog park the other day how to create a page on Instagram for my dog. And my dog is, I call him Pugzilla. He's really a big dog, half pug. So that's been kind of fun. So I had interaction yesterday with somebody with a Pugzilla in Tehran. So that was kind of fun. So it's an interesting time. And then otherwise, I think that Laura and I joke about our grandson is sort of like our virtual grandchild. we see him periodically on a phone call or, you know, stuff like that.
Awesome. Okay, so I think everyone had their 60 to 120 seconds of fame, with the exception of Garrison. If I skipped you, raise your hand unless your name's Garrison Fletcher. So we all got to go. Now, Garrison, you have a lot of time. It's 12:20. I just set an alarm on my phone for 12:55. So if your presentation does go that long, I'm going to say, Garrison, you got 5 minutes to wrap it up. It doesn't have to go that long. Don't feel any pressure to be verbose. And so I'm going to ask everyone, it looks like everyone has muted their microphone except maybe Dan, everyone to mute the microphone. And I'm going to once again thank Garrison for speaking today. And take it away, Garrison. And please don't forget to answer the icebreaker before you get into the meat and potatoes.
Sounds great. Well, I'm really glad you're all here, and I appreciate your time and attention. It's always fun to share what I do because I just really, really love what I do. So the short version, I am a graphic designer. I do flyers, ads, logos, mostly on the print side of things. I do some web stuff like some of the others, you know, certainly not to the level of the other people, I am sure. However, enough to be dangerous and break things from time to time and, you know, hopefully fix them on the other side. So primarily focus on the print side of things. But so the icebreaker question for me, I've been really doing a lot more. I've been going out of my way to show up at multiple different calls. So that's why I've been here a few times. I've been to both of the EE meetings. Instead of before, I would just go on Fridays instead of going to the Thursday one, which was either in La Mesa or El Cajon. So I'm doing that more. There's another group, WSPN, that I was involved with that was meeting out in La Mesa area. And so I've been, you know, pretty regularly being on that call unless I have a conflict. And then I heard through Doug Means, I think, that several of the BNI chapters are open during this time. You don't have to pay to be a member. It's just come on down, hang out. I found another group that's similar to that. It's called San Diego Referral Connection. It's an exclusive networking group like that. And I heard about that through Hans, I believe. Yeah, I believe Hans. Hans, I think, Hans Parge. And he recommended it, and it's a closed networking group. And I've been going to that pretty regularly, to the point where they're like, hey, please join. I went to one that was in a BNI chapter that was in Rancho Bernardo. And although it was an amazing group and a lot of people and a lot of dedicated people connecting, I had to think, is it fair for me to be in their group taking up a space? Because I didn't picture myself, when this is all over, whenever that happens, getting up at 6 o'clock to drive to Rancho Bernardo to be there for a 7 a.m. meeting. And I thought, it's not fair to me and not fair to them to, you know, string this along. And then I found the San Diego Referral Connection, and they meet, you know, less than a mile away from my office. So it's the same morning thing, but I have now a 3-mile commute instead of a 30-mile commute. And it just seemed to make a whole lot more sense. So I've gotten involved there. And in my presentation there, just saying who I was, I already have a client and it's going great. So anyway, so that's covers, you know, a bit of me and the icebreaker. So what I thought I'd share today is a little bit about me and my company, what I do, why I do it. I'll share my presentation. Chuck, you'll have to give me okay to share screen. So you have to give permissions. Okay, great, thanks. So let's see, and there we go. So I'll give a little bit about me. What I'd like you to be thinking about when we talk about the design I do and how I do it, really be thinking about and listening for, I think the beauty is the nuances, right? I think there's a lot of people with Canva, with Vistaprint, with all these things. You can make something that's nice and pretty and not embarrassing and things of that nature, which is great. But what about those extra nuances? What about those little subtleties that might make a difference to somebody that could really make you shine? And I apologize if it looks like I'm not looking at the screen, whatever, because I've got 2 monitors, and so I'm looking at my presentation and the other pieces too. So hopefully that will be okay. So can you all see my screen? Is that okay? Great. All right, so a little bit about me. I love to snow ski. I usually go for about 2 weeks out of the winter season. Usually Park City, Utah. My brother has a timeshare in Heavenly Valley. So we're there usually 1 or 2 weeks out of the year in Heavenly Valley. It's a great family time. Lately, we've been getting extended family, so cousins and aunts and, the whole group. And we've had, I think the most we had for one of the weeks was like 19 people. So we had multiple rooms at the place where we were staying, where the timeshare was, and got some extra space. It was really, just really amazing. I love to sail, so I bought and sold Hobie cats, just love that. This horrible graphic that I probably should change, but it's just what I found at the time, is a reminder. I went on a program called Semester at Sea. It's actually a floating college where you literally take college classes while you're on ship, and you literally travel around the world. So I left in Vancouver, British Columbia, and I arrived back in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So I've been to Japan, Korea, Taiwan, Hong Kong, China, Malaysia, India, Turkey, Russia, Yugoslavia, and Spain. Certainly gave me a perspective of the world and a perspective of humanity that's different than the us versus them that I was brought up learning. And now I'm like, hey, we all have the same wants, needs, Maslow's hierarchy, everything else. We all want to be loved. We all want a roof over our head. We all want to be safe. The book, The Four Agreements, to me is one of the great books that I've read. And if you haven't read it yet, I highly recommend it. Even if you just read the preface. I know that sounds strange, but if you read the preface, there's so much to that. I don't know if any's read the book, raised by show of hands. Anybody? Yeah, great. Oh, it's amazing. So it basically is a simplified way of how you could live your life with the Four Agreements: being impeccable with your word, always doing your best, never make assumptions, and it's not about you. So just having those things in mind, if somebody cuts you off on the freeway, it's not about you. You could be mad, or you can just go, well, that sucked, and off they go, and now you carry on with your day, right? So what assumptions did you make? That person did that. That client didn't call me back. They should have called me back by now. I should have gotten an email. Well, maybe they're just busy. Maybe they had a catastrophe. Maybe they had something else happen. But how often, I'm guilty of it. I'll speak for myself. I don't know how many times in the past I would just get mad and just really upset that it happened. And all of a sudden I go, okay, and I think to myself, who is it that I haven't called back? Who do I owe a phone call to? And all of a sudden, when I remember that, I go, oh, dang, that's my job too, in order to, make sure that happens. So anyways, so that's a little bit about me. Love personal growth. I'm always learning things, go from there. So what do? I'm a graphic designer, 28, almost 30 years now. I'm a 3rd generation native San Diegan. I create logos, like I said, brochures, banners, trade shows. I do printing. I broker printing. That's actually a good portion of my business is, the printing side of it. And what makes me unique? So you'll get the feel for this throughout as I talk about the things, but the basic is uniqueness is I have a degree in industrial organizational psychology. So what does that mean? I was taught to ask all kinds of questions, business related, that apply to marketing and management and personnel and studies in persuasion. We're all electives. So I ask a lot of great questions of my clients. I give my clients homework. It's very engaging. I work with them, as I say. I work with my clients to find out what their needs are. Because most of the time, I find clients have an end goal in mind, but they don't know what they really need to get to that end goal. And oftentimes what they come in with as a request won't work for them. So to me, I take it as my job. I'll give you a simple example. A client came to me, they had a limited budget, they needed 100 postcards, and they said they wanted postcards that were 4x6, because that's what people told them they should have, a 4x6 postcard. And I asked them if they were open to changing the size. And they're like, why? I'm told 4x6 is what I should have. I said, you say you're on a budget, and yet you want a good product, and you want it inexpensive. I said, if I can change it to 4¼ by 5½ instead of 4x6, I can now get 4 out of a sheet of paper instead of 2 out of a sheet of paper. And so your printing cost almost goes in half. Would that help you? They're like, oh my gosh, yes. From then on, they now come to me and they say, Garrison, I have an idea, and here's what I want to communicate. Now, what's the best way to do this, right? So now they see me as a professional because they realize I'm really on their side. I'm looking out to help them. So let's go into some examples. In graphic design, you know, it's all about the samples, right? The before and afters. So here's a sample of what I did for a company. They came in with this logo on the left, Strategic Employment Solutions. They help people that are handicapped, disabled in some fashion get into the workforce, right? So they're helping them do that. And so they have this logo. It wasn't bad. You can see the person in the wheelchair. You know, some people didn't notice it because it's in white, is the discussion I've heard. And the blue is a great color blue. The green, do they go together? Is it really bold? I noticed that the size of font compared to the logo size just was out of proportion, and they needed something else. So I went to it, and you can see I changed the person in the wheelchair to blue. Now, if you'll notice, the blue is a slightly different color, right? Most people would say, why, what's the big deal? Here's where my psychology background comes in. What I did is I went out to the internet, you know, to Google. However, my thought process was, what is the color of handicapped blue? You see the signs, you see them painted, you see them in the handicapped parking spaces. Why not subconsciously remind them that that's the color, and why not have the person in the wheelchair be the one with that color? And then you can see I changed the green a little bit and just brought in primary colors. How many do you see? Burger King, all the fast food companies, McDonald's, they're all green, blue, and yellow, right? And red. So it just brought in the primary colors. Also, I created this tagline for her, which she loves, mobilizing an able workforce. So, and you can see even small, it works, but that's just an example of, you can see where my brain goes. Here's a before and after. On the left was the original one. The circles are just there to point out things. As you can see, this was actually a JPEG that she had. She sent to a sign company because she needed signs, and they had to digitize it, so they did. And so it got really pixelated, and I don't know where I've ever seen a crescent sun. However, so I thought that was a little odd. So I filled that in, but you can see the chimney is much sharper. We played with some nuances. And then look what I did at the bottom. On the sign that they had created, there was this black and white line. And I brought it back into her logo. The green was nice. It didn't really do a lot for me. So the black place with the line subconsciously reminds you of a road, right? She's a real estate agent. So you now have a road. Why did I bring in the red? The red is at the top, and she's a Keller Williams real estate agent. Red is their primary color. So I created the bottom part to frame the entire thing, so there's a foundation of something solid for them to go on. The other thing we've done, depending on how we use it, is we drop the red down and her website goes in there, depending on how she's marketing and whether the website is redundant to be there or not. But it's just a great example of a before and after. Cairobus, it's actually a referral from CJ, thank you so much. It was one of his clients that he was building a website for, and he's like, okay, just getting started, I guess I need a logo too. And CJ says, hey Garrison, I have a client for you, can you help them? So he called me up, and so I started working with them, created this logo for them, Cairobus, and created a great card. I really like it, you know, he's ecstatic about it. And he's a mobile guy, right? So it's not exactly the same shape, which I think is fine. It's just more the concept. He's coming to you. If you've met Mr. Penix, he actually does have a flat top. So I created this graphic with a flat top for the person. And then he wanted to brand his bus because he's a mobile chiropractic. So he takes people, he goes to them. Here's a before and after. So this is a good example. This client came to me, they had what was on the left. They were printing it out, they printed it in full color. They were concerned about ink on their printer. So when she came to me asking me to come to her group, this bottom section where it says, you know, the date and time was crossed out, and she had handwritten into the side the new date and time. And I thought, all right, well, that's kind of silly and doesn't look as professional in my judgment. And also I had to like read this whole paragraph to find out what it was about. One of my philosophies is I want to be able to have somebody know exactly what the flyer or ad or whatever I create for them, exactly what the message is before they have to read the whole thing. So if you can see on the right, I changed it. Money 101, building wealth, plan for retirement, fund to college education, invest tax-free. If that's all you read, that's simply, clean, sharp, you know whether this is something for you or not. You know if you're interested, you know if it's something that you want to keep, what you want to call them, or if it's not for you at all, that's fine. You know, just rule yourself out as a customer. All that is great, because we really want to work with customers that want to work with us and that have our need. Now, on the bottom, what I did is I went to her website actually, and she had a calendar of events on her website. As CJ will say, you know, your website is a tool, right? So she had a calendar of events. So now her flyer will never be obsolete, because on the bottom, I put the link to her website with events. And if they go to the website and she updates the events, this flyer will never go out of date, and it will always be current. And she doesn't have to write in this data on there to keep it current. So it's just a way of using technology, as CJ talked about a lot for us. Here's an example of another flyer. It was 10 things to do. It's a gentleman that builds alternative dwelling units, or granny flats. And he just, you know, points out that there's 10 things. Well, are there really 10 things? And do you have to read through all of that to find out if it's for you? So as you can see, I've highlighted a couple things. If you're interested and you know, you're like, oh, well, what are my parking requirements? Well, it's in one of these bullet points, but you have to read the whole thing to get there, or can you just go right to it? So I just made it easier and more legible and more hopefully productive for somebody at a glance to see all the things they cover. Now, the other thing I noticed about this brochure, he was offered the opportunity to speak at a real estate caravan. And with that, he was just going to hand out this flyer. Basically, all he was telling, though, was all the problems, right? What are all the problems? What might be a problem? How do I get around that? And so I created a backside for him that created all the great things about him and his company and why they should choose him. So again, I tell my clients, I don't give them what they ask for, because all he asked for was, maybe could I clean up this brochure a little bit? And instead, I gave him something that's much more workable, which he was ecstatic with. So here's a before and after. So the left is the cover from the previous, and then on the right two are the original page, and then the new page I created. So these are some highlights. You can see in the middle one, the text is over the top of the picture in white, really difficult to read. So I created a title treatment with a little bit of a shadowing, so it's easier to read. It's like that on every page. And then I also put a footer in that actually has a page number that you can see. You can see the page number here in the other one. However, depending on the picture it's on, it gets really convoluted. The other thing you'll notice in this added is on the left picture, you can see the Nautilus shell is part of their logo, correct? So I brought that into their footer so it could be a whole lot more branded for them. Also put in the name of their catalog. On the right facing page has their web address. So if somebody was to Xerox this or rip a page out or something, they would at least know who the company is and how to get a hold of them, which I think is really important. So here you can see the before, a new catalog front page, how it does its facing pages and the footers. Also with my vendors, I was able to save her $1,700 on printing the same quantity and same page count that she had done before, same paper stock, and she was thrilled. And that was even, you know, getting it shipped to Hawaii. So that was a really great win-win. I love to save my clients wherever I can as well. So this was a before and after, and a little story here. So the client came in to me, and she's a real estate, or she's an attorney, and she was going to be speaking at the Small Business Expo in downtown. And she just wanted a price list for some things that were basically flat fee pricing. So what she had was, you know, the wills and trusts and estate planning and some of those types of things. And she says, everybody that's going to be there will have heard me speak. They know who I am. They know who, you know, what I do and why I do it and stuff like that. So all I want is a price list. I don't want anything about me. I don't want people to talk about me. I don't want it in the brochure. And I said, okay, I hear you. I really do. But please follow me for a minute. She says, okay, but I know what I want. So I said, here's the reason why I think you need to have this in here. I said, you are correct that anybody that's at the workshop will have heard you and will have a sense of who you are. However, when you bring that brochure home and it's sitting on your coffee table or it's sitting on your desk, and you have a friend come over for lunch or come over for a drink or a coffee or something like that, and they see that brochure, they might spur the question, oh, are you getting an estate plan done? Or are you getting your will updated? Like, yes, I am. I'm using this lady. That person has no idea who you are, what you stand for, what your philosophy is, who you are at all. And now this brochure with that information in there now could potentially be selling to a new potential client. So it's not just where you think this is going to be, it's how else could it be used. So I was able to clean it up and created a really happy client. She's like, okay, I'll give you that one. I totally get it. You got me sold. Do what you think is right. I have veto power, but I get what you're talking about. So that was a really great introduction. So let's say, why should you use a graphic designer? You know, a lot of pitfalls, right? So Broncos country layoffs. So whoever created their cute little Facebook, you know, maybe profile image or whatever it might be, or company page, there's probably a P listed under here, but because they didn't take into account what it was, that totally got lost. So now it's Broncos County layoffs. I don't think they're happy with that. How about the pencils? I didn't know my mouse did that as well. The pencils. So you're too cool to do drugs, right? Or are you cool to do drugs? Or do you just do drugs? Question mark. So to me, that's a branding fail. Or you have two cans that are branded the same, generically yellow and black with their black and gold logo and similar font. And which one do you spray the flies and which one do you spray in your pan, right? That could be kind of a mistake. Or some logo ones, like who knew that McDonald's now had mice, a 10-pound bag of mice for $1, right? Poor placement of their logo. Or how about the bakery, Mama's Baking? I understand that there might be buns in the oven. However, I don't know that that may be what they really wanted to project. The Catholic Church, I'll just leave that one. The psychology side, again, with this Boost Mobile. Many of you have seen the commercial where they have this light switch and their logo's on the bottom and they want you to switch to Boost Mobile, correct? However, if you notice, the switch is there on the lower side where Boost Mobile's logo is. The concept is, if you look to the right, you turn on a light, correct? Which is great. So often it's turning up or, you know, sort of thing, but you're really turning away from Boost Mobile, right? So this would have been, so subconsciously, you're getting the message, move away from Boost Mobile. If they would have put in place here, the other guys, whatever, other carriers, they could put logos or whatever they thought was legally right. And on this side, they put Boost Mobile. Wouldn't that be a way to change? Let's change to Boost Mobile. So it's just a perspective. You know, with my background in psychology, a lot of these subtleties people don't think. However, the subconscious really does know it and sees it. So here's a gentleman that came to me for a project, and he wanted to capture leads at a golfing tournament. So I created, all he was going to do is ask me for a piece of paper, basically information about it. And so I did that. But then I added these questions. Are you a homeowner? Please contact me. Are you an investor? Please contact me. I'm not interested in solar at this time. Don't contact me. And he's like, wait, no, I just want to call everybody. I just want their contact information. I said, no, you need to qualify. You need to be fair and qualify for that. By doing this, he had 30 people that came through for the hole that he was sponsoring. 30 people came through, and believe it or not, because of these questions, he got 8 people that said, yes, please contact me, right? So that's huge. Imagine the other side. If he just got names, he's now cold calling, right? Hi, you came by the thing and I got your number and I do solar and I want to see if I can come out and get you an estimate. That's cold calling. That's going to upset a number of people. However, he got 8 people that now said yes. Can you imagine his conversation with that person is going to be totally different than the conversation as a cold call. Now, the other thing I added, and it's cut off here a little bit, but the birthday. He's like, why are you putting the birthday? What does that have to do with anything? You know, I added a birthday line. I said, well, some people will fill it out, some won't. But think of this. Somebody says, no, don't contact me. And yet they put their birthday and you have their address. Well, your email or their actual address, whatever, right? You now have permission to acknowledge their birthday. And by acknowledging their birthday, that happens to be branded with your solar information, they might just now be in a position to be interested in solar, didn't know how to contact you, but because you reached out to them on their birthday, they're now willing. So it's just those types of things that I do. So I'm running on time. I love my before and afters. This is a cute before and after of a social media company. On the left side is the before, the back wasn't even used. I created a new logo for them, branding colors. Their company is Juice Media. She described it as always like, I want to just squeeze the maximum, value out of your dollars. And so I created the J's in a circle, which gives the look and feel of what? A blender, right? So blending all of your social media together to creating a good message for you. So she loves that image. Here was one of the before and afters I did for a company. Their logo was on the left. This is what they were using. Name was convoluted. I don't know what clean dentistry over the top of a logo really does or says. On their own website, the color scheme was really getting lost. So I took their similar concept, the leaves, the tooth, sort of things. And believe it or not, this shape takes up the same amount of space as the other. However, it just looks larger. You can read the word Smile Haven Dental. You know who they are. Even small, you can read it. And we created a couple looks. So you can see on their website how much different it does look for them. So what do I do? I think everybody should have digital flyers, things of that nature that they can, they have a letterhead, brochure, all of the pieces. Your email capture, could be on your website for sure. I think hand printed note cards are going to be a thing that really jumps back in. People need that personal touch, right? In this all digital world, it's something that you can really do for them. So how do I do it? I help my clients by ensuring their message is consistent. I educate them on how to hook their audience with the concept of, they're coming to you for a pain point. What is their pain point? You have the solution to their pain point. And then what I hear from my clients, you did not give me what I asked for. Thank you so much for helping me and educating me. Or I've learned more about my own company by the questions you've asked me. It's well worth the effort. So let me give you a free tip. Upper and lowercase for your web address and your email address, right? So here's an example, David Sharp Foundation. Well, which is it? Is it David Sharp Foundation or David's Harp Foundation? When you use upper and lowercase, you can actually read it so people can understand what you're saying, make it more memorable, and they can remember it down the road, sort of thing. So I want to shift gears a little bit, part of the question that we had today, and talk about what am I doing differently to connect with people. So let me share a different screen with you and show you a little bit about what I'm doing with something new to learn more and connect with people in a different way. So I've recently come across this company called Be Connected. And what they do, think of them as a mashup of LinkedIn meets Match.com for connecting, people, but they've rewritten all the codes so that it's all about business related, to then the Angie's List that has qualified leads, right? People get stars or rated, so how they work, sort of thing. And then how you can potentially, if you were interested, also become affiliate. So how many people here have any sort of affiliate marketing that they're currently doing? Are you getting anything from, so CJ's one, anybody else doing any referral marketing or affiliate marketing? No, not even to your web hosting company or anything like that? No, okay. It's an interesting concept, which I think is really a great thing. Oh, let me know if the sound comes, because I may not have checked that box, so we might have to do that again. Can you hear sound? Okay, great.
Today's situation of a global pandemic, we are faced with a paradigm shift that has changed the way we do business forever. No wonder entrepreneurs struggle with finding prospects and customers, connecting to business partners, generating reliable leads, trusting new relationships, staying ahead of the competition, and a host of other challenges that restrict your business potential. Be Connected offers entrepreneurs like you the ability to instantly connect to what you need, regardless of your industry or experience level, at the push of a button. Connection Generator. Introducing Be Connected state-of-the-art connection generator. The connection generator is an advanced proprietary technology tool that allows you to locate your ideal customers or business partners through powerful algorithms that analyze profile information such as your industry, location, target audience, and business preferences. It's like dating software for the business world. We just changed the questions. World-class coaching. Be Connected offers members immediate access to industry experts and coaches from around the world. Each coach on the Be Connected platform is selected for their over 100 years of combined experience in their area of expertise. Find out what all the buzz is about and gain an advantage in today's marketplace. Learn more about Be Connected today.
I apologize, I don't know how to get rid of that overlay from the video, but that's what we have. So, and then there's another video on time, or maybe just best to ask questions. What I've learned about this organization is they're in beta. They've just launched. Are there thousands of people around the U.S.? No, there aren't. There's a bunch of people. It's growing daily.
Hi, this is Scott Schilling. I'm the Chief Visionary Officer for Be Connected.
It's in the other tab.
What is Be Connected?
It's in this tab?
It's the premier
It's in the
hub
YouTube tab, the first one. You can just close it.
Home-based business owners,
Thank you.
small business owners.
Great, thank you. So it's an amazing program, platform of helping people. I've already connected personally with some people on there. It's awesome. I put in my profile, I put in who I'm looking for, what type of clients I'm looking for, what type of services I'm looking for. And then you go in and you just hit the connection button. And so people that have those skills, have those things, are right there for you. The coaching that they talk about, there's 6 people that are award-winning coaches that are teaching different platforms. There's one lady that's teaching all about video, how to do video, why to do it, how to do, the different things. There's somebody that talks about ebooks and, online courses. There's a number of testimonials that are on there that I've heard, and I can share with you if you're interested. But one of the ladies, she's like, okay, within 1 week of me going through and putting together going through the workshop that she put together, she's revamped something she already had, turned it into something for sale for $300, and has already made $3,000 because 10 people have signed up. So it's all these, what I see this as, similar to our brain teaser question this morning, was what are you doing differently? Right now, by joining this organization, I'm now getting upwards of $10,000 to $20,000 in courses from people that are experts in their field on how to do these things myself, to where I can now have an added stream of income in a different way. They do have an opportunity. I mentioned the affiliate marketing, right? If you wanted to be affiliate marketing, you could join at that level, and then people that you brought in, you would make dollars on each of them. It's not your typical, widget that you're selling or potion or whatever, and all those are great. I mean, I'm involved in one of those as well. So I understand that side of it as well, but this is really a unique opportunity. There is a cost to get in, and then there's a monthly. But the beautiful thing that they've done with this, as far as the monthly piece, where most companies, it's a required, you have to spend $50 a month, to stay an affiliate or to stay a member sort of thing. This does have a $49 recurring fee. However, if you bring in 2 people, just 2 people, your membership is free for life. All they have to do is come in and stay for 30 days. So all the benefits of the connection generator and all those other pieces are just an amazing piece to it. So that's what I'm doing differently. Like I said, I signed up, I think Friday. And I've already had 2 connections. One I've already talked to on the phone, and we've already talked and agreed to a price for what they're providing and what I can provide to them. So it's already making me money, which is fantastic. And so I'm just looking to share this. I'm definitely in my mind, the giver. When I find something that is really awesome, I want to share it with people and help other people. I know a lot of people are struggling, and this may be a way to reach an entire market that's outside of your home zone. So if any of you are or know of somebody that can do their work from afar, they don't have to tangibly be there, right? So like Julie, if you were to make an online course, you could share that with people in different locations. However, your preference, your preference is, you know, to hang local. So, and that's great. But depending on what you do, it's something you can do. So I'm open to questions. If you have, you know, have any, I'm happy to share, and let me know your thoughts. Unmute yourself.
Well, first of all, Garrison, awesome job. And yeah, so if anyone has any questions regarding Garrison's presentation, please go for it.
I just want to say I learned something new about you and your business every time I hear you talk, and it was a great presentation. Thanks, Garrison.
Awesome, thank you.
I just want to quickly chime in and say that I'm a huge fan of Garrison. He and I work very closely together. I'm constantly referring clients to him for graphic design work. And even though I am a graphic designer, I turn to him to do my graphic design. So I just want to show you the beautiful business card that he made for me. Here's the front side. Here's the back side. Got more on the back than I ever could have even dreamed was possible. And I love being able to hand it to someone and point and say, here's my podcast, check this out. Or here's my free video workshop, you know, and just underline it and hand it to them. So that's a huge benefit. Let me show you the brochure he made. I went to him with my hand-drawn version and I said, I need a flyer that's going to match my talk. I want it to have kind of this information on the front, and then I want notes, you know, maybe my bio right here, and then a page for notes, and then, you know, call to action here on the back. And he worked his magic, and turned it into this beautiful flyer right here. It's got all my branding. It's got my jungle theme. He said, no to your bio on the front. Let's make 2 pages for notes. I said, yes, sir. And then he said, let's put this, put your bio on the back at the very bottom. And he's got 3 to call to actions right there. So worked his magic. Not what I asked for, even better. So I'm a huge fan of Garrison. And by the way, I've already signed up under him for this Be Connected program. So I just want to thumbs up and applaud everything he just said.
Awesome, thanks. And if you're interested, I mean, it's easy to just go to Be Connected. You can do that. It is a referral marketing, right? So if you were to take a look, please look at mine. I just did it simple. My company is Apex Typing Graphics, or Apex SD. So it's Apex SD at Be Connected. Thanks, Sir CJ, for throwing that in there. And, you know, take a look. If you know of somebody that needs a pivot, to me, this is kind of my pivot, right? I'm getting training. I'm getting a referral marketplace. I'm getting to approach people and be approached by people that are outside of my reach. And I'm not doing it hounding them on LinkedIn, like throwing up all over them going, gosh, I see what you do. Would you like to work with me? It's like, no, somebody's connecting me because they have a need that I could potentially fill, or vice versa. I'm looking for something. So I think it's going to be amazing. And, you know, I'm just hopeful that I can help a lot of people. Yeah, Thalia.
Hi, well, thank you. That was wonderful and great to know what you do. Really clarified for me what types of things you offer. And I really enjoyed the whole idea, and I'm a big proponent of this, of really thinking about the idea behind things and, you know, thinking of the psychology of color, and thinking about placement and wording. It's all so important in graphic design. My question for you is, I'm not familiar with Be Connected. I have found some connections through Fiverr and through Behance. And I wondered if you're familiar with either of those, if you've used either of those and what you think of them.
Yeah, I haven't used either of them. I know several clients have come to me after they did Fiverr, and then I fixed it. And I know a number of people that have used, say, Vistaprint, created their logo, whatever, but then Vistaprint holds it hostage. You don't get to take your logo that you've created, that you've now branded, that you've now done business cards for, that now you want to sign for and a banner for. No, you have to buy it through them, right? So you're held hostage. So I have had many people like that. Similarly, I've had many people that are on Canva, and they're like, oh, okay, I'm doing this whole training manual, whatever. Well, they pulled one template from an 8.5 by 11 US letter size, and they pulled another one that was similar, that was European size. and they couldn't figure out why it was always cutting off and the margins were different, and they just didn't realize what was going on. So you can do it yourself. The people from Fiverr, I think, are great. To me, though, what's missing is that uniqueness. Most of the people like that, to my knowledge, are often working with, you know, a logo generator, right? They put into their system, they probably do it in 3 minutes. They say, you know, like the company name, like Wix. Wix has a logo maker now, right? So you could go on Wix as a platform and you can create your logo on Wix, and you put a little simple information, and in 5 minutes you have 10 logos to choose from, and poof, you have your logo. Now, will that work for some companies? Absolutely, right? Having some image. But will it be all that it can be? Will they put the nuances like what I did with Barbara Tackett-Riley and having the road in there and the foundation board? No, they won't. They'll just be an image and then your text, and you get 12 choices of fonts, but have they really kerned it? Have they really made it fit together? So it's just a level of, my tagline is, I don't care if you did it yourself, as long as it doesn't look like you did it yourself. And while some of those things look clean and sharp, most of the time I could look at them and go, gosh, if we just change 2 little things, it'll be night and day. And, you know, sometimes that's time and dollars for people. You know, sometimes they appreciate that and they come to me because I'm the expert in what I'm doing and they're the expert in what they're doing. So, yeah, I think it's a great service. I get leery of the, oh, you could get a logo for $5 or pay $20 and you'll get a logo. To me, it feels misleading for people.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, so it is 1:01. I try to unmute everyone's microphone. Let's give it up for Garrison. Good job, Garrison.
Yay!
So I'm going to go ahead and end the recording right now, but that